This presentation is called "The Mind is a Powerful Thing." And I suspected that most of your guys' bottlenecks was actually between the ears. Because what I've learned in my life is that everything is mental. Ian used to say this shit all the time. He used to say it in Spanish too, it was ridiculous. But it's so true, right? Like even Carl, for example, is like, he is afraid of not being able to put a program out there to get results. He didn't say his bottleneck was creating a program. It was that he was afraid of creating a program or not being able to create a program that gets results, right? Which is not a program problem. It's not a tactical problem. It's not a technical problem. It's the mindset, right? It's the fear. And so in this presentation, really what I want to share with you guys is kind of what I've learned through like my own like psychological fucked up journey, reading a bunch of books and doing a bunch of stuff that maybe I shouldn't sometimes. And here we go. So for a long time, I felt really sorry for myself. I felt like the world was constructed for me to always have to be the underdog, right? I was always the one who was overlooked. And that was my identity. No matter how hard I tried, life felt incredibly difficult all the time. My junior year of college, I hit 127 at South Carolina. There was time where I think I went like over 39, but we'll talk about that later. But it wasn't my fault, of course. It wasn't my fault. It was everybody else's fault. It was the coach's fault. It was my dad's fault. It was my mom's fault. It was the dog in the stands who barked when the pitch was halfway to the plate. Like, of course I can't hit, right? The dog's barking. But they were my stats. And I got cut at the end of the year. And that was one of the worst feelings in my entire life. So I went to go play summer baseball in the Valley League. And 2 weeks into the league, on my 22nd birthday, they sent me home. And my girlfriend broke up with me. And the two schools that I wanted to go to, VCU and Mizzou, pulled the carpet out from under me. All in the span of a week. I just said that. I had nowhere to go, nowhere to play, with nobody to advocate for me. And it wasn't my fault. Why would it be? I went home to our house in Northern Virginia and I sulked. I felt so bad for myself. How could everybody else not see how amazing I was and that nothing was my fault? That it was everybody else's fault. How did nobody else see that? I was under the influence one night, let's say, and it hit me. I was the problem. Everything was my fault. And I started to really unpack why I had struggled so much in college and honestly most of my childhood. And without getting too deep, a lot of childhood trauma. And I think a lot of people will use childhood trauma as an excuse as to why they're not living the life that they are right now, which may be tough to hear. But it's your life, and you make your own choices. And so I made a commitment to myself that I would take accountability for my own life, that I would take power over my own life. 2 years later, I set a school home run record that had stood for 41 years. And I'm obviously getting emotional about that. Because as you can imagine, I hit 120-7. That's dog shit. And then somehow, that same human being set a record. How did I do that? I started a remote training business with a partner 1 year after that. After 1 year in corporate America. We did over $250,000 in cash collected in just 10 months as a couple 25-year-olds in a backyard with no credibility, just a laptop and a camera. I started this business in October of 2023. I haven't been doing this very long. And we've done a bit better than that. I have some amazing team members. I live in a beautiful place. And I get to go wherever I want, whenever I want, with who I want. And I'm only 27. I'm not saying this stuff to boast or to brag or to say, like, look how awesome Nick is. Because I kind of just shit on myself for the first, 15 slides. The reason I share all this with you is because I used to have a terrible mindset. It was atrocious. I had a victim mentality, that it was never my fault. Why does this happen in the world? Why is it always me? And you might find yourself saying the exact same thing sometimes. Why am I so unlucky? And since then, I've been able to create what I have deemed my dream life. And I credit it all to my mindset. How was somebody who was uncoachable, ran out of Notre Dame, South Carolina, I got in trouble at San Jac, we'll talk about that. How was that kid able to now do these things? So today, we're going to cover a few things. Number one, how to have a crystal clear picture of what you want. Some of you guys said you struggled, you're not exactly sure what direction you want to go. Crystal clear picture of what you want. First. Number two, becoming the person worthy of the goals that you have. Some of you guys have lofty goals. Some of you guys want the world, and that's fucking awesome. You should. But you should also be willing to accept the price that comes with it and becoming that person. Number three, identifying the belief systems necessary to achieve success, right? And then taking action to create your own reality, staying focused on your vision. A lot of you guys are doing 17 different fucking things. It's like, how are you supposed to be good at anything? When you're doing 17 things, you get good at something by practicing, right? And then how to make quality decisions that move your business and your life forward. Sound good? Oh, yeah. Did not expect to get emotional earlier. That was crazy. Vision. First couple questions. What does success mean to you?
I would say success to me would be able to support a good-sized family, that they're able to live, be able to play sports and do a lot of the things I did. I think that's tougher and tougher in the world today. And so to be able to do that would be a success in my view.
Gotcha. Nice. Do you believe you deserve success?
I do believe I deserve success, yeah.
Sweet. Somebody else.
I mean, success for me is traveling the world while working and having a legitimate amount of income coming in that we can literally do whatever we want, whenever we want, hire a private teacher, travel the world, and live the best life possible. We love travel. Absolutely.
Somebody else? We don't have to go all the way around, but whoever wants to talk can talk. Go ahead.
Success in my mind is not a number or a figure, but it's winning a competition against myself every day to become the best version of myself. Like pushing past the excuses. One of my favorite things are like when I don't want to do something and I force myself to do it anyway, because it means I have the nuts to actually get the success that I want and I deserve it. So winning those battles every day is like success to me.
Nice. Somebody else? Whoever wants to go. Don't be shy.
So two-part answer. Ian just really opened up my eyes. And in short term, I believe that success is being able to look at myself in the mirror at the end of each and every day and knowing that I gave it my all. If I did that, regardless of what the outcome was, that was a successful day. The big picture of success to me is being able to repay my family and be able to retire them for everything they've done for me. Where I come from, if you don't become a professional baseball player and you don't make it out of the island, there's not a lot of other options. And early on, they realized that I had a lot more potential than just what I could do on the field. So they took me out of there so that just to put me in this country to allow me to be here where I am today. And knowing that I'm just getting started, I do believe I deserve success. I don't believe I've earned the success that I want to have yet. I have to become worthy of it.
Nice caveat.
So I would kind of say success for me isn't necessarily a financial thing, but I got into this business to change other people's lives and other athletes. And success for me is if I can help somebody achieve a dream that I wasn't able to achieve myself, that is a success. So kid throwing 78 in high school all of a sudden gets to go play in college who wasn't going to get to do that before. That's a success. AAA guy who's on the verge of making the league who can't stay off the IL all of a sudden makes a debut. That's a success. So am I worthy of that? I mean, absolutely. But like in the way that I define that, it's not necessarily inherent on me. It's empowering other people to make those decisions for themselves, to put themselves in a successful position for them to realize the success that they want to achieve, for allowing me to feel that sense of success or achievement with them.
Nice. Do you believe you deserve it?
Absolutely.
This may come as a shocker, but success for me means that my family gets more of the best of me than my clients do. I feel like in the last 3 years since we moved down here to the Valley, it's been a constant grind, and to the point where I'm like literally have to like warn my family, like I'm completely tapped, I'm spent, like I need to go veg out on Netflix. Like I can't make any decisions right now. But to put a semicolon on that, it's also being able to take my daughter shopping, or my boys, but right now my daughter's a freshman in high school. So like going shopping is like fun. And I'm so freaking tired of playing chess with our finances to be able to afford the things that not only I deserve, but she deserves. Like going out on a limb and doing this, there's so many risks, but the reward outweighs it. So success for me is just being able to be like, yeah, sure, you want it, let's get it. So I know to some it might sound weird, but it's the little things for me.
It's not weird at all. Do you believe you deserve it?
Yes.
So success to me, not to sound, wealth, but more so financial freedom. Just being at home kind of reminded me from like where I came from, that I grew up in poverty, and I have such a frugal mindset still. And like I have money now, but I'm still frugal. So being like financially free now, and I still have like leaps and bounds to go, but I like the feeling that I deserve like the money that I actually have, I think is important to me. And I think that kind of is equivalent to success. And then status, which also sounds, a little selfish, but I think status also comes from impacting as many lives possible and, being like inspirational to other young female softball players. And I think that's a super powerful position to be in.
I don't think you should shy away from wanting status. I think it's a basic human desire.
Well, can I tap on that too?
Sure.
So a lot of coaches in the older mentality talk about not being a selfish player. You need to be selfless. But I think in order for you to be the best team player, like in your business, your team, the way you guys are coaching, is you have to teach the kids to actually become selfish. They have to own their position. They have to own their job, their training, all the things for everything to show up. So like status, I feel like just sitting back watching. We actually met through Instagram, by the way. And we met in person last year at the NFCA convention. And just sitting back and watching her and like DMing her and talking with her, like she's been putting out legit content for no reason other than just, hey, this is what I do. It's for you. And now she's doing it for money. So I think it's amazing.
You should.
You're welcome.
When you're good at something, you get paid for it, right? Anybody else? No? Some very interesting answers. What do you think it's going to take to achieve it? We don't have to go all the way around again. We can if we want.
I mean, I feel like for me, what's it going to take to achieve it? Like one thing that your program has really showed me, and one thing that I always thought, like, man, just my network and connections, like if I could somehow tie what I'm passionate about and use that network, like that's kind of a home run, no pun intended. And I feel like it's right in front of me. And so personally, I just need to put my foot down, figure out like where my clarity should be and my focus. And if I just do that every day, I think I'm way closer to that than, I don't know, anybody else would really think. Like, I feel like I could be a month away from something really big.
Nice. Can I ask you this follow-up question? Are you prepared to do whatever it takes to achieve it?
Yeah, obviously everything takes sacrifice. And so I'm not going to sacrifice my family, but I'm going to sacrifice my sleep. And, you know, my wife's on board and knows that, hey, like the grind it's been here and it's coming even more. And so, yes.
I like that. Same two questions. What do you think it's going to take? Are you prepared to do whatever it takes?
What it's going to take is just a clear view of what you're trying to accomplish, just seeing it crystal clear. And it's not like, it's very easy for me to see what Jansen needs to do. It's very easy for me to see what Nick needs to do. And then it becomes very easy for you to see. But what it's going to take is an elite level of execution. Just the mastery of what it is that you want to accomplish, how you want to accomplish, and then going and getting it done. Just driving the nail down, move to the next nail.
100%.
And being singular-minded, I think, would be the thing that helps almost everybody in this room. Like, everybody has some form of ADHD or whatever it is, and somebody stealing your time, or it's procrastination, it's you got to take care of your kids, your wife needs you. That's all true. Nobody's going to leave that. But for 3 hours a day or 8 hours a day or whatever time you have to say, okay, today I'm going to do video. You got to do it, right? Today I'm going to take care of my hybrid program no matter what. I'm going to get really good at that. Got to do it. All right, now I'm going to do my remote program. I'm going to get really good at that. And once you start doing that and hold yourself accountable for the days you don't want to do, like was said earlier by Ian, it's a no-brainer. You're going to kill it.
So I'm going to take a little different avenue to that. So for me, it's thinking about things in shorter chunks because like my mentor in the posture space always asked me, like, what's your 5-year plan? Like, what do you want to do? And I'd give her a plan, and 2 weeks later, that 5-year plan has changed. Or what do I really want has changed in that group of time. And while it's great to have a 5-year plan, not locking yourself into something that you feel like if I don't achieve that in a time frame, then I failed. and having much more micro goals that get you to the macro goal of how you can ultimately get there, because your business is going to change in 2 weeks and that could change your 5-year plan. So not necessarily looking to what the future is holding, but what can I do in this interval to get me to the future spot that I want to be in?
Definitely. Would you say that you're prepared to do whatever it takes to achieve your goals?
I would say so. It's just going to take some more discipline and execution to, like Ian's talking about, even if I don't want to do it, I still got to force myself to do it in that time period.
So the reason why I'm asking these questions, right, is because everyone has a different definition of what success is. Some of you is a little bit more vague than others. Some of you know exactly what you want. But most people will say they will do whatever it takes to achieve this goal, right? But what does that really mean? Are you willing to sacrifice everything that you love in order to achieve your goals? Are you willing to sacrifice, I don't know, you said your family, which I like how you said, I'm not going to sacrifice my family, right? But I think it's important that you recognize that, because a lot of people will speak these things out in the world and say, I will do whatever it takes to achieve my goals. But it's actually bullshit. Like, okay, I could say, I'll do whatever it takes to be a billionaire, right? Somebody puts a gun to my head and goes, would you sacrifice your firstborn son to do it? I'd say, fuck no. So it's like, no, you won't. You won't do anything that it takes, right? Like I said, the answer is probably not. So what does that actually mean? Okay, what am I actually trying to get at here? Constraints around your goals are really what matter, right? We talked a lot about success earlier. What does success really mean? I want to look myself in the mirror every single day and feel like I gave it my all. It's like, okay, you can choose to do that right now. You know what I mean? But what does that mean specifically? What does giving it your all mean? Do you think that on your hardest working day ever, that you could have done more? The answer is yes, right? So not to shit all over your goals, but just trying to say, like, what's really important is having a crystal clear picture of what you want your life to look like. Because you may not be willing to do whatever it takes. And guess what, guys? It's fucking normal. And that's okay. I'm not willing to sacrifice my firstborn son in order to achieve these goals that I have, right? So I've set constraints around what I want, which is why I've been able to create what I have, because I have constraints around them, okay? You should have constraints around your vision. But it's important to be aware of what specifically you are not willing to do, right? Most people will say, I'm willing to do this and I'm willing to do that. What are you not willing to do? Because sometimes we have these goals that we've set out for ourselves. We want to make this amount, or we want to have this impact, or have this many followers. It's like, all right, you want to have a million followers on Instagram? Like, do you want everybody to know everything about you and your sister and your mother and your girlfriend? And like, are you willing to do that? Are you willing to post every single day for 10 years? If the answer is no, then you probably shouldn't have that goal, right? And that's fine. I'm not saying don't shoot for the moon. I'm just saying look yourself in the mirror and realize, what does my dream life actually look like? What do I really want? Not what does mom want from me? What does dad, what does coach, this friend who's doing this one thing, oh my God, he's doing this one super cool thing, I'm gonna do that now, right? What do I really want? Because most people don't even have a clear vision of what they want, right? I asked you guys what success is. It's like mad vague. Maybe I should have asked you what your vision of a dream life is. Maybe I could have gotten better answers. But the point is that most people have vague goals with no constraints. I want to show up for myself every day. What does that mean? Right? So when you say that you lack discipline, I don't know if it's that you lack discipline. It's that you lack structure around what your goal actually means. And so you can't make decisions to align with those goals. Does that make sense? So it's like when the phone comes ringing and it's Saturday night in Miami and you know the Latinas are gonna be out, guess what, motherfucker? Omar's going. Right? And that's okay, bro. Like if you wanna do that, that's okay. I'm not trying to tear down Omar, right? But it's why most people never get what they want, because they don't actually know what they want, right? And they've never determined what they don't want, which is more important. They let life happen to them rather than making life happen for them. And it's impossible to hit a target if you don't know what you're aiming at. I guarantee that I could teach Carl, I don't even know how to shoot a bow and arrow, but I guarantee that I could teach Carl to shoot a bow and arrow and hit the bullseye before the world champion archer could hit the bullseye if that guy was blindfolded. Right? Carl knows what he's looking at. This dude is shooting all over the fucking place. So even if that guy is much more skilled, even if somebody is, I don't know, a way better coach, let's say for our example, somebody's way better at driving traffic, somebody's way better at, I don't know, XYZ, doesn't fucking matter. The point I'm trying to make is that you have to know what you're shooting for. You have to know what your clear-cut vision is. And so about a year ago, I was introduced to a concept called the vision board. And this is what I made about a year ago. And this blonde kid right here, I paid him about $8,000. And he makes way more money than I did at the time. And I was like, I'm gonna see what this guy does. And he's like, make this vision board. And I'm like, you make more money than me. I'm gonna do whatever the fuck you say. And I made this. And if you notice, you can't even see my laser. You got the watch. Yeah, the watch right there. I made that in December. I got the Ferrari and the AP, and I don't know, I'm kind of a flashy, bougie motherfucker, but then I got the house, right? And I don't know if that's on Camelback Mountain, but when I first moved in here, I looked out and I saw the houses on Camelback Mountain, and I felt like I achieved a checkpoint in a video game. Like I leveled up. I was like, holy shit, that's the next one. It was like, oh my God, like this is fucking real. And so it's crazy. And it's like a little bit woo-woo, right? Like I put the Nick Neville identity. We don't have to read the words. You don't need to see that. But 10 months ago, I wrote this. And it's the Nick Neville Manifesto. And it's a page long of everything about me. Who I want to be, what kind of car I drive, what my relationships with my friends are like, what my children are like, what my wife is like, all that shit, everything, to a T. And I wrote it out because this fucking blonde kid from Canada told me to do it. And I was like, okay, cool. And then I made this. This is in, I think, December. And the only thing I haven't hit, just to be transparent, is 1,000 YouTube subscribers, which is why Homeboy's back there. Yeah. But I don't know if this looks familiar to you.
That's wild.
I don't know if this looks familiar to you. Right? But I had targets. These were my targets. I was like, when I hit this milestone, I will do this. When I hit this milestone, I will do this, right? So ask yourself, what does my dream life look like? Health, wealth, happiness, relationships. What does my dream life look like? Write that shit out. You don't need to do it right now. I mean, shit, maybe you can. I don't want to run out of time. But if you guys just want to jot a few things down, I would recommend going back and really writing it out and taking time. Because if you guys want to talk about leverage, you want to talk about scale, this is the highest leverage thing that you could do in your entire life. Because this is your compass. And we'll get into that in a second. Yeah, if you just want to jot some stuff down. Am I good to...
That's dope. And you did that, I bet, quicker. Did you put a timeline on it?
Yeah.
Did you hit
Half
it?
the time. Half the time. Yep.
The view is crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, like of your image, like you're here.
Yeah.
That's dope.
I created it though, like on purpose. That's the whole point of this presentation. Is like, hey guys, I created this 10 months ago and I said I was gonna do this and I looked at it all the time. And then guess what? It happened. It's crazy. I don't know if it's like some woo-woo magic, I don't know. Whatever, doesn't matter. It happened, okay? And so that brings me to identity, right? I hear a lot of things of like, I have a difficult time focusing. I am somebody who cannot focus. I am not organized. These I am statements. And they're all fucking bullshit. Like telling yourself, I am this, I am that. Because you can create whoever you want to be. I can walk outside and be like, super introverted if I wanted to be. And then I just tell myself that I'm introverted and then I act introverted. Or I can be like, I'm super extroverted, I talk to everybody. And then I could be extroverted, right? You probably have experiences in your life where you've changed the way that you act and you have become a different person. So we'll get deeper into that. But I grew up in a pretty normal family, I guess. I mean, shit, we lived in 3 countries, been to 49 states, maybe not that normal, but we had problems too, We could never afford anything. Like we go to buy a bat and we're getting the one that's on sale. And then my dad would buy me like a nice like Louisville Slugger Prime and I'd be in the box afraid to get fucking jammed because I didn't want my dad to be mad that we're wasting money. At fucking 16. Like he had no idea that he was projecting that on me, right? But I had all these limiting beliefs around money. That it was never enough. And that's why I was so afraid to never play pro baseball. Because I was like, holy shit, both my parents hate their jobs. That's what life looks like. I don't want to fucking do that. I need to play baseball. And then my life depended on it, and then I was fucked, right? My parents were never home. My grandma raised me for a lot of my childhood. She actually just passed away a couple weeks ago. And it was very difficult to deal with. But I thought money was hard to come by. And like, it's kind of hilarious now because I was out here bullshitting with you guys and Claude just closed a deal. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not even fucking doing anything. But I thought money was hard to come by, okay? I was afraid of never playing in the major leagues because I didn't think I'd ever make money doing anything else. And I thought playing in the major leagues was the only way for me to achieve the status and the lifestyle and all these different things want, which I was always told, no, Nick, you shouldn't chase money, you shouldn't chase status. That's superficial. But it's really just a projection of the fact that they couldn't have it. And I'm not blaming my parents, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying they were bad parents. They're great parents. My dad's the president of a university, right? Like, he's a pretty smart guy. But I recognize these things. And those things held me back a lot. That's why I would do a lot of the shit that I did. I've always been ambitious. I've always wanted the best. I've always wanted to be the best. And so whenever somebody was better than me, I would be like, oh, no way. Like, they can't be, right? Because my ego couldn't handle it. But I've had some beliefs along the way that I've had to break to get to where I am right now. I didn't always believe that I actually deserved success, though. Why is that? I used to think that success was beyond my control. I used to believe that other people had it easier. Oh, like it's easy for Jansen because he's taller than me and he's right-handed, so he doesn't have to face lefties. Like I would tell myself that shit. It's a joke. It's like, what do you mean? Being left-handed is an advantage. But I told myself that it was a disadvantage. Because why? I identified as somebody who was the underdog. And that I was not the type of person who had it easy. I identified as somebody who was unlucky and had to work harder than others to achieve their goals. I even went so far to hold on to this identity that I was born on Friday the 13th, June 13th. And I would tell people, well, I never said this out loud probably because I realized how fucking stupid it was. But I was like, that's why I'm so unlucky. That's why bad things happen to me. Crazy. So what happened? I worked extremely hard and I always found reasons as to why I was unlucky. And so when I got opportunities like going to the University of Notre Dame, going to the University of South Carolina, going to San Jac, I fucking sucked. Why? Because I did not identify as somebody who was worthy of good things. I didn't think that it was possible, right? And so you will never act outside of what you believe your identity to be. If you believe, for example, that, hey, I want to make 150 grand next year, you're not going to think, how can I make 150 grand a month? And so you'll never do it, right? Think about that shit. If you're like, I want to make 5K a month, it's like, well, good luck. That's your ceiling. You'll probably never break it. And you'll never think in the way that you need to make 10, 15, 20, 100K a month, 500K a month, whatever it is. It doesn't matter. I know maybe you don't need 500K a month to feel validated. Maybe I have some deep-rooted issues I still need to deal with, right? Yeah. So when good things would happen to me, I would self-sabotage all the time, okay? For example, opening weekend at South Carolina. And I have clarity on this now because I've been away from it. But opening weekend, I win the starting shortstop job at South Carolina. I was an outfielder all of high school, convinced the world that I was a shortstop somehow, went to San Jac, made like 25 fucking errors, still got an offer to South Carolina as a walk-on and won the starting job over a kid who had a scholarship and I didn't. Outperformed them in everything. Go 4 for 9 opening weekend, rake. I was like, oh my God, this is so sick. But guess what? I watched a video of my swing on Sunday. I was like, yo, I'm not doing that little thing. I don't even fucking remember what it was. It doesn't matter. Yeah, I was like, oh, I'm just doing that one little thing. That's the thing that's holding me back from being able to hit 400 with 1,000,000 home runs. It's just that one little thing. So what did I do? I went in the cage, fucked my swing, got to the game on, I don't know, Tuesday, Wednesday, we're playing App State. Couldn't hit a fastball like over 75. Like literally just getting blown away. Coach Kingston, if you're watching this, he'll never watch this. He pulls me aside and he's like, yo, you're back to doing your old bullshit again. Like, you need to cut that shit out if you ever want to hit at this level. I was like, holy fuck. I was in the on-deck circle. What do you think I did? I punched, of course. I ended up going 0 for 39 after that. I didn't get a hit. That was in February. That was the first midweek game. And for those of you guys that know college baseball, I didn't get a hit until like April. Like, it's fucking brutal. You know? And then King pulls me aside after Tennessee and goes, hey, this is the closest you'll ever get to the big leagues. Like, you need to accept like your role in the team and like just enjoy being a part of the team. And that like, you'll probably never make it past like this, pretty much. I was like, holy fuck. He was telling me I was gonna get drafted at the beginning of the year, right? But who you identify as will determine what your ceiling is. So I identified as always not being good enough. So what did I do when things were going bad? I found something that wasn't good enough and I fucked with it enough until I went back to the temperature that I set for myself. which is when big moments come, Nick chokes. That was what I told myself. Toxic, right? Toxic. So, let me tell you about my watch. This bad boy. So, I set a goal for myself that when I hit a certain milestone in my business, I did like X per month, I'm gonna buy a Rolex. Fuck it, right? I just set it. And I told one of my mentors this, and he's like, okay, cool, yeah, you're gonna hit it, blah, blah, blah. Like he's always gassing me up and shit. And then in February, we hit it. And it was this watch, right? It was on the vision board. It was like 3 months after I made it. So like half the time, right? I wanted to do it, or even a quarter of the time. And I'm like, oh, nah, bro. I'm gonna save up. I'm gonna wait till we're doing like 150 a month, like, you know, whatever. He's like, what the fuck? Like, you just said that you were gonna do something and now you're not doing it. You're not making it right with the universe. Like, basically he's saying, you're not a man of your word. That you say you're gonna do something and then you don't do it. And I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, I did say I was gonna do it. And then I'm like, oh yeah, I'm coming out to Tampa in May. Like, I'll buy it out there, just pushing it off, right? Oh, I need to think about it, right? Bullshit. Anyway, Claude's laughing. And I just started thinking about it. I'm like, why do I not want to buy this watch? I said I was gonna do it. I have the money. Why am I not buying it? And I was like, it's because that's for rich people. And Nick is not rich. I was like, oh. So I was at Chop Shop, which is a local place around here. Had a couple calls cancel, was kind of having like, wasn't having another record month in March. It's March 27th. And there's a watch shop like right there by Chop Shop. And I'm like, all right, if they have the watch that I want, like I'm gonna buy it. You know, just like bullshitting, right? So, oh yeah, like telling myself, giving myself the option, but hoping that it's not there so that I don't have to fucking cut the check, right? I walk in, boom, it's fucking right there. I'm like, oh my God, I'm about to buy it. Like I have to now. I have to. And I walk up and I'm like, hey, do you have any Datejust? And I'm fucking looking at it. Like I know, I've looked at it a million times, right? Hey, do you have any Datejust? He's like, oh yeah, there's this one, and then there's this one. And it's the one that I'm wearing now. And he's like, do you want to try it on? I'm like, nah, fuck it. I'm paying for it right now. Just ran the card. 2 minutes into the watch shop, I just fucking bought it. But that was my commitment to myself that I am worthy of nice things, right? And so like, yeah, it's a nice flex. It's like, oh yeah, I make money, cool. But it's more for me. That's why I wear it all the time. So that way I look at it and I'm like, yeah, motherfucker, you did that shit. You're worth that. And guess what? I'm not broke. Okay, let me tell you another story. I'll try and keep this one a little bit more brief. So another instance, it's April, and I'm on the phone with one of my friends, and he's like, hey bro, your lease is coming up. Like, have you started looking at new apartments? I'm like, oh no, I have a few months. Like, I'll be good. And he's like, dude, you should just check. Like, don't you want to move into that one place here? And I'm like, yeah, 100%. Like, it would be so cool, blah, blah, blah. I'm thinking I'm going to get a studio, you know, like something cheap. And he's like, check it out. And so I hop on really quick, and I look at the website, and this unit's available. And I'm like, holy shit, like that's the view on my vision board. I'm like, oh my fucking God. Literally came available that day. Wow. That day. And I was like, Oh my God. And I looked at the price tag and I'm like, holy shit, freaked me out. Cause I was paying like $1,100 a month down the street. And this is a lot more than $1,100 a month. I'm like, holy fuck. I'm like, dude, I don't know. Like, I don't know, bro. I don't know if I can do that. I'm like, I'll think about it, you know? And he's like, what do you mean, bro? You can afford that. I'm like, fuck, dude, he's right. So I submitted the application, signed the lease the next day, moved in the day after my 27th birthday. But I never would have done that had I not made these identity changes. Because now I identify as somebody who's worthy of these good things, right? That's why I put on this event. That's why I hired the fucking videographer guy, right? That's why I got this lights. I tried to make it look good. I used to be like, I'm a minimalist. Fuck that. I want to treat y'all. So with that being said, ask yourself these questions. Who is the person worthy of achieving the vision that you've set out for yourself? And what characteristics do I not have currently that I need to acquire? And what characteristics do I have currently that I need to get rid of? I told Claude that if he closes 5 deals while he's here this week, I'm buying him a watch. Yeah. Not a Rolly. Get the fuck out of here.
You got one?
Huh? Yeah, he's got one. He's got one. Cool. Couple more minutes, couple more seconds. Just look up whenever you're good. I love how seriously you guys are taking this. This is sick.
This is dope. These stories are awesome.
Dude, the mindset's everything. Seriously, the mindset is everything.
But being here and seeing your vision board and looking at the mountain is pretty crazy.
It's crazy, right?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Like, the evidence of it, I feel like, makes you want to take it serious.
And the time frame.
Oh, sorry.
I would just say, you know, when we first talked, the first time you sold me on the program, which I bought the first call, of course, and I was like, this sounds like Russell Brunson stuff. And you were like, yeah, that's right. And, you know, as time went on and as I got into the program, you start talking about funnels and all these things. I'm like, God damn, man, you know, this is all the stuff I've been watching for years, but I've never taken action. And going through the program, it's like you have done an amazing job of taking all of these things that you learned from YouTube. And here we are sitting in it. And I've listened to guys talk about vision board, and I have a vision board somewhere on my computer, but it's not specific enough that like, and these questions here are awesome. Like the person worthy of achieving that vision. I've been putting off the weight room like since I retired. I crushed it for like 2 or 3 weeks. I'm like, I'm going to be fucking jacked because I was always working out for baseball. And now I was like, I'm going to have a chest, you know, whatever. And I haven't done it. I'm like, man, I'm working. I wake up, I get on the computer and I work all day, you know, when I'm not with my family. And it's like, who is the person worthy of achieving that? It's like, I want to be freaking jacked. Like, I don't need to be walking around like a shrimp. Like, that's a big deal. And to me, it's like, I put it on the back burner because it's like, well, that's not my focus right now. Like, I can put on the back burner, build my shit, grow the shit. But it's like, no, like, I need to become the person. It's not doing the work. It's becoming the person and having the confidence, whatever else, to then take it. Like,
Exactly.
So, in sitting here, seeing your watch, because to me, when you bought the watch, I'm like, like whatever.
Yeah,
but
this asshole.
It's no, not at all. But like, it's the story. And seeing here, looking at that mountain, it's everything. And the time frame to me is insane, because when I think of the opportunity that we all have with the internet, and me specifically, I'm like, I don't know what I keep saying, like, you know, within the next calendar year, but it's like, fuck, like do it in 3 months, you know, like there's literally nothing stopping us if we put it out there and become who we need to be to do it.
Exactly. You can become whoever you want.
Fucking Batman.
You can literally be whoever you want to be.
Look at him. Give me 50 G's a month. I'll take it. Before you got internet, zero off the screen.
So the person worthy of achieving that vision, or the person that I am now is worthy of that, but the perception of what I need to be to achieve that is bullshit. So like I put these limiting beliefs on who I need to be in order to achieve what I want to achieve, but really all that is just a mindset of what I think I am worth as opposed to what I truly am.
Yep. You create an identity gap on purpose.
Yeah, the person worthy of achieving is, I think, someone that works hard each day to be better than they were the day before. That's important. For me, characteristic that I do not have currently is like, I guess my dad was probably the most frugal person on the planet, and his dad just probably, maybe they just straight from the Great Depression, they never got out of it, which is good. He put us all through college and is a great dad, but that mindset definitely can be limiting also. And so getting rid of that type of a mindset, and that you're saying like money is not hard to come by, it's abundant, is a big thing for me.
100%. Like, how much do you think this building's worth? Somebody owns Optima, and they own the Optima right over there, and the one in North Scottsdale, and the one in Phoenix. And somebody owns that mall. How much do you think that mall is worth? Billions, with a B, with a B. And you're telling me you can't make $100K a month? You know what I mean? Billions a year? Bro, that's like $100K a second. Any idea how much money that is? And I'm not saying that to be like, oh, we need to be all about making money, making money, making money. Like, I don't want you guys to think making more money or wanting to make more money or wanting to have nice things is bad. Because a lot of people feel that way in the world. You know? A lot of people think rich people are assholes and all they care about is money and they want to keep their profits high and blah, 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 blah. Right? Like, you get paid directly for the value that you provide to the world. And so if you're not getting paid what you want, you need to figure out where the gap is between what value you provide and what you need to provide. Simple, it's math. Okay, beliefs. Oh, this is a good one. Who here believes that making money is difficult? We kind of just slash that shit, right? Right? I mean, who here believes that rich people are bad? Wow. It's almost like I wrote this. Okay, this is a really good question. Who here believes that their business is different, and because it's different, it's more difficult than other people's businesses in this room? You care to share why?
I believe that. And the reason why that I use to justify it is I've built my business around teaching people how to hit. And if there's a whole bunch of guys that hit a ball 100 miles an hour that can't hit, right? Or 110 that can't hit. And I got 25 guys that hit balls 87 miles an hour that can hit. But because it's not tangible, it's a harder sell than say, hey, come join me. I'm going to teach you how to hit a ball 100 miles an hour. Because I can get you to hit a ball 100 miles an hour too. But you still might not be able to hit, you know? So I haven't found a way to wrap my mind around how to make what I do tangible for the easy sell. Easy is the wrong word, but for the sell that is you walk your way down the path and you get to a sell.
So you feel like because of external circumstances, it is more difficult for you to make money?
No, not to make money.
Okay.
I feel like it's more difficult for me to position myself in the space, in the online space, to sell to the same customer as Ian's selling to.
Definitely. So what if you didn't have to sell to the same customer?
I don't.
So if you're selling to a completely different avatar who wants completely different things and has a completely different set of beliefs, don't you think it would be easier to sell to that type of person with your messaging?
Most definitely.
So then maybe it's not that it's more difficult to sell, you just need to go get more of those people.
I didn't identify the right avatar.
Bingo. Hopefully that was helpful.
It's definitely helpful.
I appreciate you speaking up too. You know what I mean? Like some of you guys might be thinking that, oh, my shit's way different. You know, I could just blast you guys just like I did with that. But like not to like, but you know what I'm saying? Like you got nuts for speaking up there.
But yeah, I think part of the program is the exercise of figuring out who you are, right? We get in this room and all these guys are hitting coaches. Okay, well, how do you do your program? I'm going to try my program just like that. Well, that's not who I am, right? I've done this for 30 years. That's not who I am. I've been extremely successful. Now I want to go to another level, but you got to sit with yourself and say, okay, what's my avatar look like? Like I went through the program, I knocked my stuff out. I killed it. I was like, this is awesome. I got it. Then I started sharing what everybody else does. And I'm like, I almost turned myself into somebody else.
Exactly.
Right? Oh, I had to slow down, right? And fortunately for me, I have an existing program, so I can continue to work and grow and develop over there while I'm building over here, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you don't have to you got to draw a design before you can build anything, right? Like I don't have to put bricks on the ground. I have to draw the design and wrap around in my head. So I went to different avenues. Okay, I'm a father. I'm passionate about being a father. Do I teach fathers how to teach their kids? Because they don't care about the exit velocity, right? Like, where do I do it? I'm close to having it figured out. And then it's just game over.
100%. And I would say to anybody who's having difficulty creating a unique offer, don't look at what other people are doing. And just think for yourself. What can I deliver better than anybody else to who? And what do they need? And why do they need it? What are they going to get out of that? Boom, there's your offer. But don't look to, I don't know, like everyone.
Copycats, sorry.
Exactly. And everyone's always like, I get this all the time. My program's not like Ian's. Like I hear it all the time, right? My program's not like Ian's. Exit velocity is so easy to sell, and I don't hit the ball 120. It's like, so? I sell to sports coaches, teaching them how to do something that they can't even conceptualize before they even know who I am. Like, what do you think is more difficult? Selling a baseball player on how to play baseball, but it's through the internet? Or selling a coach on the fact that they can sell baseball players, coaching them on the internet? And we sign minimum like 20 new clients a month. So like, is the avatar, is the offer, or do you just need to get better at marketing and sales? I'll let you guys decide. Okay. We kind of just hit that. Who here believes that good things don't last? Oh, that was definitely me. Whenever I got on a hot streak, holy fuck, this is going to end sometime soon. I'm going to cool off at some point because I didn't identify as like a really good hitter, right? So whenever I was hitting really good, I was like, oh no, this isn't me. I didn't step into the new identity, even though I had made the changes necessary. So what did I do? I went back to the shit that made me terrible because that's what I told myself. These are all limiting beliefs, right? Your beliefs shape your thoughts. Your thoughts shape your actions. Your actions shape your results. So if we can get our belief system right, then we will think the right things, which will cause us to do the right things, which will cause us to get the right results. Make sense? So this is a definition of limiting beliefs. Hopefully you know what they are. You guys all know what limiting beliefs are? Cool. But you need to challenge them. Okay, and ask yourself, does this belief serve me? Right? Does this belief serve me? Maybe it might actually be harder to sell somebody on being a better hitter than exit velocity in 2024 right now on Instagram. Maybe that might be true. Does that belief serve you? Does it make it easier for you to get closer to where you want to go?
It definitely doesn't. Definitely doesn't. But that belief has forced me to shape my vision in a different way. It's forced me. I mean, I had to have something that challenged me to the next thing, right? Like if I became an Ian copycat, first of all, I could be his dad, you know. Secondly, that just isn't who I am, right? So the who I am, like you've already talked about, that's the struggle. That's what gets us to where we want to be. It's identifying, okay, this is where I fall short. How do I overcome that? And most of us get paralyzed because we know exactly why we're falling short. We just avoid it.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. Because then we have to face the identity gap that we've created in our mind and actually look it in the mirror and go, wow, I am not good enough.
But the avoiding it just keeps you where you are, just swimming in it, right? Like you're just bathing in it rather than just push through it. Okay, it might take you a year to push through, but on the other side, it's something pretty sweet. It might take you a month. But if you just attack it on a daily basis, you will achieve it. It's a simple concept.
Yeah, but what if I waste all my time doing something and fail?
Well, if you learn something, you didn't waste any time.
Nice.
Right? And failing to me is crap. Like you can't win a game you haven't quit, right? This game is not over. Like, I mean, obviously you could die, but if you're going to be good at this, you're in it, then okay, I'm behind in the game, but I haven't lost it, right? And then once you get to the point where you buy the watch, you're like, damn, I'm winning. Like, this is awesome, right? And then we're going to go to the next win. And then the game's going to change. If you're making 20 grand a month and then you make 10 one month, well, I went backwards, but I already know how to make 20. I'll get to 20 and then 30, and then I'll go back to 25, and then I'll figure it. It'll get figured out.
Exactly. Go ahead. Oh.
So just like I heard this one thing that kind of gave me a little bit of perspective, like talking about the amount of time that you've been doing something for. And if you haven't been doing it for long enough, it's not applicable for you to think that you should be better at it than you currently are. So like in this example, guy was talking about like his career path and he's been doing it for 4 years and he doesn't feel like he's where he wants to be. Somebody says, well, if you wouldn't even have graduated from college at this point, but if you do it for another 4 years, you could be a surgeon. It's like, if I were you, I'd stick with it and be a surgeon. Like you're going to be a lot better at this in double the time frame that you've been doing it for if you just continue to do what you're doing.
Exactly.
You're not going to get worse.
Yeah. But Nick, I've been in the program for 2 weeks. I posted 3 times on Instagram. Why haven't I made any money yet? So if these beliefs that you have don't serve you, get rid of them. And if it does, repeat it to yourself every single day. Matt's talking about how he wants to change the default settings. If we want to get better at something in the weight room, what's the best way to get better at it? By practicing, right? By doing it more. And so we recognize those things physically, right? I want to bench more. I'm going to bench 3 times a week. Most of the time, your bench will go up, right? People want to improve their mindset. How much do you practice? How much do you feed yourself with confidence? How much do you read? How much do you listen to people further ahead of you to learn? Right? I paid somebody, what did I pay him? 9 grand at first and then 15 grand after, strictly because he'd grown 2 companies, one to 250K a month from 50K a month, and then one from 100K a month to 500K a month, and then was the top closer on a company that did 1.7 million a month. So I paid him a total of $25,000 just to be his friend. Right? Because he challenges me and he makes me want to get better. And then he comes to me asking me for marketing help, and I think that's why we're still boys, but you know. Yeah. So ask yourself these questions. What beliefs about the world does your ideal self hold? What beliefs do I not have currently that I need to acquire? What beliefs do I have currently that I need to get rid of? Looking at your wrist. What actions do you need to take to guarantee that you get the watch this week? Yeah, but how?
Take my calls.
And how? For context, I told Claude if he closes 5 deals, well, it's not 5 deals, it's actually a certain number. But if he hits this number while we're here, I'll buy him a watch. $825 watch. What actions do you need to take to guarantee that you get that watch?
I think just run the plays. Take my calls. Just do my thing. And I'm going to get the watch.
We'll see, brother. It's a win-win for me. Okay, actions. That was actually a perfect segue into actions. Why do you think some people get better results than others? Is it because they have an easier offer to sell? Do they have some innate ability that you don't have? Or is it possible that they just do the actions that are required to get the results desired? Because winners fucking win. See, all of the results that you've achieved, the current situation that you're in, and the life you've lived are a direct reflection of the actions that you've taken over your entire life. Tons of people will put their destiny outside of their control. You have no idea how many times I hear family members say, Nick must be nice. Oh yeah, motherfucker? They always blame the circumstance as to why they can't get the results that they want. Oh, this guy's taller than me, that's why that girl likes him. Oh, this guy's better on camera, like that's why he's making all this money. Oh, this guy is whatever, right? We make all these excuses. We blame the circumstances. That guy's a better camera, whatever. The fact is that there's somebody out there who came from less and has done way more. That's true, right? We can probably all agree that there's somebody out there who's come from less that's done more than you. So we can either use our circumstances as excuses, or we can learn the rules that the world has given us and play by them. Like believing that the world should be fair. That's crazy to me. Like, oh, that's unfair. Well, guess what? That's life. And a lot of people want to complain about the fact that things are unfair. But guess what? That's how the world works. And you can either complain about how the world is, or you can accept how the world is and learn how to have success anyway, because why? Winners fucking win. So, lots of people waste their time. And it's because it gives them, shit, I just burped. It gives them an excuse as to why they're not where they want to be, right? And you'll see a lot of people project, on other people. Oh, like, Ian, why are you posting on social media? Who do you think you are? Jansen, why are you posting on social media? You're a pro baseball player. Stay off social media. Guess what? Guess who's hitting up who now, right? So how do we get to where we want to get to? Life is about action. It is about the actions that you take. Doing what is required, not doing what you think is your best. If your best is not what is required, then you need to get better in order to do what is required to achieve the vision that you want. Most people, we're taught this in society, hey, at least you did your best. Right? At least you did your best. It's like we're just breeding people who are okay with just doing their best right then. Because we're so afraid of looking in the mirror and pushing ourselves to be better and accepting that maybe I'm not perfect. Maybe I'm not a special snowflake, right? And that's tough to swallow. So what do we do as a society instead? We just say, oh, at least you did your best. But that's not what winners do. You can do your best and still lose. There's a certain set of actions that you need to take to achieve your vision, okay? And if you take those actions, then the results are inevitable. Here's an example, okay? 2 people work out every single day and track their calories, right? One person makes massive progress, one person plateaus. Is it because person 1 had better genetics than person 2? Or is it possible that person 1 took better actions than person 2? If you know anything about training, you'll know that the quality of your workouts matters a lot. So just because I go to the gym and I do weights doesn't mean I fucking worked out. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing in life. Just because you're working doesn't mean you're working. The same is true in life and in business. If you are working hard and your business is not growing, guess what? You are doing the wrong stuff. Because businesses by nature want to grow. Outputs are a byproduct of proper inputs. Okay? So ask yourself these questions. What actions do I need to take? What actions does our ideal self take? What actions do I not take that I need to start? And what actions do I take that I need to get rid of? What do you guys think so far? Good, bad, ugly? So focus. I'll try and rip through this because it's kind of ironic that I have focus here and I've gotten off tangent a little bit. So what is the definition of focus? Google says it is the center of interest or activity, okay? So how many of you guys think you're focused? Probably all of you, more or less. You're somewhat focused. Would you agree? No? Interesting. Have you ever thought that it's not about if you are focused or not, but how focused are you? A lot of people will tell you they're focused on their goals. Goals. Can you truly be focused if you have more than one goal? Do you think it would be easier to hit one goal or 5 different goals? The answer is quite simple. So, brief story, had a remote training business, was doing pretty well with it. Oh, we got Chipotle coming. We're gonna keep rolling. Was doing pretty well with the business. Got kind of screwed over by my business partner, and but I still had like a handful of athletes. I was making like 10K a month. It's pretty comfortable. But I thought to myself, is this worth the time, effort, and attention if I think this other thing can be way better? And so I cut all my athletes off and I was like, I'm making no money right now. I have to go hunt. And 12 months later, you're all here. So ask yourself this. How focused is your ideal self? What am I not focused on that I need to start focusing on? And what am I focused on that I need to get rid of? So decision making. The word decide comes from the Latin word decidere, which means to cut off. You are cutting off other options when you make a decision. So who here has difficulty making decisions from time to time? Maybe a couple of us, right? Why do you think that is? In my opinion, most people haven't done the work to figure out what they really want. They end up becoming plastic bags floating in the wind while the world has their way with them. So how can we make quality decisions to propel us toward our ideal selves? After creating your vision of your ideal self, your decision making should become much easier. Why is that? Every decision you make should be aligned with getting you closer to your ideal self. There are probably unmade decisions right now in your mind. Those are taking from your mental space. Those are wearing you down every single day. Nothing drains you like an unmade decision. And most people don't make these decisions because they would rather be comfortable in the moment than get what they want long term. The more reflection you do about your ideal self, the more you'll realize you need to change about your life. When making decisions, ask yourself these questions. Does this get me closer or further away from my goals? And if you don't want to make the decision, but you know it's what you should do, ask yourself what is preventing you from making this decision. What are you afraid of happening if you make this decision? Because most of the time, our brain is freaking us out for absolutely no reason. Our brains crave comfort and stability, but nobody ever accomplished anything great by being comfortable and needing to be stable. So, last thing, and then I'll wrap up. What decisions do I need to make? What decisions does your ideal self make? How committed is your ideal self to making difficult decisions? No matter the circumstances, then what decisions am I currently putting off making? Or why am I afraid of making these decisions? So in conclusion, finally, I know it's hot, I know we're hungry, I appreciate you guys sitting through this, but in my opinion, this is the most important thing. We can become better at anything we want in life. The people who are the most successful in any field understand this. Okay? Success is a choice, and you cannot fail if you don't quit. There's only one thing that you take away from this weekend, is that I want to show you what's possible. I was uncoachable my entire life. I never felt like I would fit in with the crowd. I spent my entire childhood and young adult years feeling like I wasn't enough. I pissed away a Notre Dame degree and an opportunity to play shortstop every day in the SEC. I've been a huge pothead in the past. I failed the drug test my sophomore year of college. My old business partners stole a shit ton of money from me, and I've made a ton of mistakes. I've had some major setbacks, but I will achieve everything I want to in my life. And you will too, if you so choose. Make the decision, become your ideal self. Watch your life transform right in front of your eyes. The choice is yours. Okay, I'm done.